Hi everyone, welcome. My name's Cody. This is Don, and we're here with the Out of Bounds Sports Podcast. All right, so we got a packed episode today. We're going to be touching on a few different topics. We got the NHL first round playoffs, NBA first round playoffs are both starting today, as well as we're going to make some predictions for the Dynasty pay-per-view with AEW tomorrow evening.
I'm so excited about that.
Lots of good matches, 10 total matches. I think 8 of them are championship matches, so it seems like everyone and their dog has a belt there in AEW. But
yeah, like I mean, I think there's about 35 titles in AEW. Okay, now I was thinking, because we were having a conversation yesterday.
Yeah.
You're going to do the NBA because you know more about that. I'm going to do the hockey. We'll keep tabs of our predictions, including the games, like let's say by 5 or by 6 or however.
Yeah.
And the person who wins, the other person, buys them ground beef and nachos at Chuck's Roadhouse.
Now, are we talking full price Chuck's nachos, or are we talking after 9 half price nachos?
I think it's got to be the full price because
it's better. Yeah, that's better win then.
Right? Yeah, and yeah. So I say, whoever gets that gets the Chuck's nachos.
That's where we watch most of our sporting events.
Yep, that's Super Bowl, some of the playoff football games. So,
all right, so we'll get into it first with the NHL first round playoffs. We'll start with the first round for now. What are your predictions? We've got 8 matchups, I believe.
Yeah. I will just recap the 4 that we did on last.
We did touch on the Eastern Conference last week.
Yeah. So let's just have a look at that one. We got the Islanders and the Hurricanes, and I picked the Hurricanes in 5. We've got the Leafs and the Bruins, and I picked the Leafs in 6. We've got the Caps and the Rangers, and I laughed, but I picked the Rangers in 5. And then we got Washington. Nope, sorry. We got Florida and Tampa Bay, and I got Florida in 5. I can't see any sweeps in the East at all for the first round. I can't see it. Now, for the West, we've got Nashville against Vancouver. I think that will be Vancouver. I'm going to say 5 games again. Then this one is tough. We got Avalanche versus the Jets.
Another Canadian team snuck in there.
Yeah. And after that, there's going to be one more. I like the Jets, but Avalanche isn't too far out of a Stanley Cup win. And
Nathan McKinnon's still playing pretty well as well. So.
And these guys are sneaky good. I'm going to go with the Avalanche. 6 games. Vegas and the Stars. Now, the Stars are heavy favorites. Like, should be a blowout.
You were mentioning last podcast, they're one of the 4 teams that are right now sitting as Stanley Cup favorites.
Yeah. But I think that's according to an article in the States.
Oh, they kind of lean a little more biased towards or against, I guess, the Canadian team. So
they don't even think we have cars up here. But again, Vegas took a championship recently, and I've always liked Vegas, so I'm gonna go Vegas in 7.
Wow,
you got
an upset alert here.
And then we got the Kings against Edmonton. I like how Edmonton played for the last half. They got the brand new coach in there. They were just kicking the snot out of everybody. So I'm gonna go the Oilers in 6. And speaking of the Oilers, Connor McDavid, 100 assists this year. We were talking about that the other day, and I did a little bit more research on it. How many people do you think have got 100 assists in NHL history?
It's got to be a small, less than 5, maybe just around 5.
Around 5, it is 5. But do you know who these individuals are?
Gretzky's got to be one of them, I would imagine.
Done his dinner, yep.
McDavid, and then, I don't know if I can name 3 other guys.
See, and that's the age difference. Okay, so it was Wayne Gretzky, Mario Lemieux, Bobby Orr, Nikolai, he's on Tampa, Kucherov,
Okay.
and Connor McDavid. Now, I know that there are people out there who still say that the best player in hockey would be Mario Lemieux. I got to strongly argue that. If you have never seen Bobby Orr play, you might want to go back and check some of the stuff because I would
Boston
say,
legend.
yeah, I would say the top NHL player, like ever, is a toss-up between Gretzky and Bobby Orr. Now, why I have it down to these two, because Bobby Orr got over 100 assists in a season twice. He's a defenseman, right? Wayne Gretzky only did it 11 times. And his highest season was 163 assists.
Holy.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't want to hear any more of this Gretzky versus Lemieux garbage anymore. It isn't even a competition. It's between Gretzky and Orr, an offensive player against a defensive player. And I'm telling you, go back, watch highlights of like Bobby Orr. They're absolutely incredible. The stuff he did, fantastic.
You experienced that live when it was happening.
I was
there.
I was young enough at that time to actually see him play. So I have been able to see the whole careers of Bobby Orr, Wayne Gretzky, Mario Lemieux. So actually, I would say that I'm actually qualified to compare them because I actually grew up watching them all play.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have put Mario Lemieux in the top 5.
It's your opinion. That's what we've got.
So yeah,
just to recap, we'll throw Don's picks up in the center between us, and you can check out those. We'll also put them in the link in the bio as well.
Really?
Let's figure that out.
Okie doke.
All right, so first round in full swing. NBA starting today as well. Yesterday we had our final 2 play-in games for the NBA playoffs. We had the Sacramento Kings against the New Orleans Pelicans. New Orleans Pelicans without Zion Williamson, which should be noted. We watched the first half of that game before I passed out. I think that...
Yeah, that was hilarious.
We were watching... Sacramento was winning, and I checked the score when I woke up this morning, and New Orleans actually came back and won the game. So they snuck into the 8th seed. They avoided losing the 6th, 7th, and 8th seed in 3 back-to-back games, all at home. So good job for them. I'm not sure if Zion Williamson will be playing in the first round. They will have the easier of the top 3 matchups, I believe, if you're talking about OKC, Denver, and Minnesota. So see what happens. Minnesota or OKC is a small, young team. Should be an interesting first-round series. And then we also had in the East, we had Chicago playing Miami. Miami again without Jimmy Butler. He tore his meniscus, I believe. He'll be out for a couple weeks. But they still found a way to beat Chicago. I mean, Chicago and Atlanta were both afterthoughts when going into the playoffs. So that's as expected. They'll play Boston in the first round without Jimmy Butler. So as we have it here, we've got 8 matchups. We'll start with the 4-5 matchup in the East, which will be Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Orlando Magic. Both young teams with young stars. This is probably about as even as a matchup as I could see in the East. I think that I'm gonna edge the Cavs they have one more year of playoff experience. They do have Donovan Mitchell, which I think will end up being the best player in the series. So I'm gonna take them in 6 games. We've got an interesting matchup, the 2-7 matchup between the Philadelphia 76ers and the New York Knicks. New York Knicks have been injury-ridden all year, but they've been looking great despite that. Joel Embiid is coming back from injury. So that series, I think, will depend on how well Joel Embiid plays. He can win a series on his own, but he's still banged up, just like his whole career. So we'll see what's going to happen. But I think that the Knicks are going to upset the Sixers, even without Julius Randle. OG Anunoby may play. So I'm going to say, this will be a tough one, but I'm going to say Knicks in 7. And then we've got the Heat versus the Celtics. Celtics have been steamrolling the whole league this year. I don't see any way that the Heat can beat them, especially without Jimmy Butler. That would be the craziest upset I think that we would see in the last 5 years. I'm going Celtics. Probably 5. I find it hard to give them a sweep just because the Heat have had their number the last few years, and it's Heat culture. Eric Spoelstra is a great coach, but I still think that's going to be a pretty close or a pretty heavy-handed for the Celtics. So Celtics in 5. The last matchup in the East, we've got the Pacers and the Bucks. Pacers have played, I believe they played the Bucks 5 games this season because of the in-season playoff tournament. So, and I think they won the series either 4-1 or 3-2. So, Bucks have been playing well. Damian Lillard's been playing all right. Their defense has been lacking since they got rid of Drew Holiday. So, I guess we'll see what's going to happen. But I think this is a closer than it should be series. It's really is a toss-up for me, but I'm going to go Bucks in 6, I think. Moving on to the West, 4 more matchups. The 3-6 seed will be the Suns and the Timberwolves. Timberwolves have had a kind of Cinderella year this year. They've looked well. The Suns have not been playing as good as they should have, considering the 3 stars that they have. So, with that said, I think I might take the Timberwolves to upset the Suns. It'll be 5 or 6 games. I'll say the Timberwolves in 6.
Yeah, it's always good to have at least one upset.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one to choose. The Suns do have so much offensive power with Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker, but they've also had that all year, and they just haven't been able to find wins. So the Timberwolves have been consistent all year. Anthony Edwards having a great time, so...
And also, don't forget there's a lot on the line here.
Yeah, those Chuck's Nachos are calling my name.
Killer.
So, next up, we've got the Lakers Nuggets. This wasn't even a tough decision for me at all. I think we've got the Nuggets in 4. I think they're going to sweep the Lakers. Lakers haven't had a chance to. They haven't beat them in the last 9 meetings. I don't think they have an answer for Nikola Jokic. So, yeah, I think we got. That's my first sweep of the first round series. We'll have the Nuggets sweeping the Lakers. Clips Mavericks. Close game. 4-5 matchup. They've been battling it out the last few weeks, but I can see Luka Doncic is playing on fire. Kawhi Leonard is not reliable in the playoffs, so I'm going to go Mavericks in 6. And then our 1-8 matchup, Pelicans Thunder. I think this will go down without Zion Williamson, which I'm counting on for the first round. I'm going to take the Thunder in 6. So once again, we'll leave all these picks in the bio. We'll also post them up right here for you to just take one last glance at before we move on to our AEW predictions. Anything to add about the NBA playoffs?
I would just like to ask, even though you're able to change it, if you had to pick right now, which 2 teams would be in the final, and who do you think is going to win the championship? Who do you think it'll be?
So, the 2 teams, I think it's going to be the obvious matchup that we had from the beginning of the season, which will be the Boston Celtics versus the Denver Nuggets. I think they're the 2 best teams in the league. I mean, the Celtics had the best record in the league. Denver did finish second, but I just think once it comes down to the playoffs, once you get the matchups, I think that those 2 teams are going to just roll through the playoffs, and it'll be a good final series.
See, I would like to see Boston against Dallas. But I think once the smoke is cleared, Boston's going to win anyway, so it doesn't matter who they play.
I think that is a good prediction as well. All right, should we talk AEW?
Don't you want to know who I think is going to win?
Did you pick your predictions as well?
No, well, I have them in my head. I just haven't spewed them out yet.
Okay, because I didn't do any for NHL. But we can do the...
No, I'm talking about just for the end.
Oh, yeah.
For not 2 teams.
You said anyone against Boston.
Talking the basketball.
Oh, you're thinking hockey.
Yeah, now I'm thinking hockey.
So what are we thinking? Who do you have?
Well, and I'm not being biased here. But because they were the best team in the league overall, I can see it. I'm gonna go Rangers against Edmonton Oilers, and I think the Rangers are gonna win the cup this year.
I would love to see Edmonton in the finals. I think Connor McDavid's had so many good years. I'd like to see first a Canadian team in the finals, as well as I'd like to see, even if they don't win, I can see your Rangers winning as well. But just to have them finally make the Stanley Cup Finals, that'll be a big
Yeah. If they can get there for the first time, they're still a very young team. They can get there a few more times.
Yeah.
But they've just never been able to get that first time ever since Gretzky left.
Which has been how many years?
Yeah, quite a few. All right, let's take a look at the AEW stacked card.
So, like we said at the beginning of the show, 10 matches, all of them but 2 are championship matches.
And 1 is a double championship match, by the way, if you can believe it.
So, I mean, where do we want to start here?
I'll start with the first one. We have the winner-take-all AEW Trios Championship. That's 3 guys. Against the ROH 6-man Tag Team Championships. So, but I'm thinking they have 6 men. Why are they putting up 2? Anyways, so we've got the Acclaimed.
Yep.
Versus the Bullet Club Gold. The key guy for the Acclaimed would be Billy Gunn. The guy's 60 and he's still ripped. And the key guy for the Bullet Club Gold is Jay White. And the other 2 guys in that team are the sons of Billy Gunn. Yeah.
So sons against father.
Turn against the old man.
Yeah.
You know what? I've seen the size of this guy. I wouldn't turn against him.
At his age, I wouldn't want to mess with
that guy was an animal. So, but I've got the Bullet Club because you can't have Jay White getting beat by Billy Gunn. You can't have a guy in his 30s who's still like a star.
In his prime. Yeah.
Getting beat by a 60-year-old in a championship match. So I'm going with the Bullet Club Gold for that one.
And I think I have to agree with you on that one. I'm going to go with Bullet Club as well.
All right. The next one we got here is for the FTW Championship. If anyone knows what that is,
please put a comment in the comment section because we cannot figure that out.
Because, okay, so now with this one we got Hook. Hook, this guy's right. He's about this thick. He's this little guy, but strong like a bull. And he's taken on Chris Jericho after turning down his mentorship.
Yeah, Jericho's kind of been trying to latch on to Hook's success the last few weeks.
That's exactly what he's doing because he's at the end of his career, right? So
he's trying to grasp at anything he can. So
yep.
I can't see. I mean, Jericho's been putting over people his whole career. I think this is just another example of him putting over Hook, making him look good, propelling him. Even though he denied his mentorship, I think that he's still gonna put him over and propel him into the next scene. And I don't think Jericho needs the FTW Championship anyways.
Well, yeah, but has he ever had it? I'm going to disagree with that. Just because Hook and Jericho have fought before. And Jericho's already put him over once. They're not going to have one of their key people on their roster put this guy over twice. I'm picking Jericho.
You got Jericho, okay.
I got Jericho. Okay, next we got, and there's no championship on the line for this one, believe it or not. Bryan Danielson, otherwise known as Daniel Bryan, versus Will Ospreay. Man, this is going to be crazy. Aerial match, like, unbelievable.
2 of some of the best in-ring wrestlers I think we've seen in the last 10 years. They've been doing great work.
Yeah, one guy's on the way up, the other guy's on the way out.
Kind of like a dream match scenario, which...
Oh, it would have been fantastic 5 years ago.
Oh, absolutely. But we're getting it now, and I think that it's a no-brainer. I think Will Ospreay is going to beat Daniel Bryan. So
he's going to smoke
Bryan
him.
Danielson.
He's going to smoke him.
Yeah. But you can see it in a short match. Maybe 5 minutes. He'll just work his magic and.
Oh my goodness. Okay, next we have for the vacant AEW Tag Team Champions. It's a ladder match. it is the Young Bucks versus FTR.
Now, every time you're announcing a match here, I just keep thinking, "Wow, that's gonna be match of the that's gonna be match of the night. That's gonna be match of the night." And every time you go, I'm like,
"We got to get this thing. We got to figure out how to get this thing."
Ladder match. These two teams have been going at it the last few weeks.
Last few years. These guys got to hate on like you've never seen before.
I think ladders will be in full effect. I think we might see some tables.
Oh yeah,
we might see some more weapons. This might turn into a full-blown TLC match. The Young Bucks, I think, have got it though.
Well,
they've had their card the last few weeks, especially in the build-up to this match. So
yeah, you know what? In the time that I've been watching AEW, excuse me, I've seen both parties perform. I don't know what the big deal is about FTR. I think they're average. I don't think they're championship. Where these other guys, they know how to fight, they know how to move, they know how to talk.
Charisma, yeah.
They got it all. So Young Bucks, done.
Young Bucks all the way. I think we both got that. So far we've only split on one decision here. About halfway through the matches.
We should put a bet on this too.
I think we might be talking steak dinner at Chuck's.
Steak dinner.
Make sure you got everything.
Okay,
so what do we got next there?
Okay, this one is going to be interesting. And I think we should talk about this one and then skip a couple between and go to the other one that kind of coincides with this one. Okay. So this one is for the TBS Women's Championship. Okay, that's because one of the channels that the shows are on is on TBS, so it's like a TV championship, which is useless. Anyways, we got Julia Hart. Have you seen her fight?
I have not seen her, so I have not seen her fight yet.
Have you seen her? It doesn't matter if you've seen her. Have you seen her?
I don't even think I've seen her around the shows, to be honest.
There are two words that describe her. Tasty. Now, against Willow Nightingale. This is a championship match. Kind of. It's a TV championship.
When I was doing some research for this card here, I was thinking, you know who made her debut a couple weeks ago and we have not seen fight yet? And I'm actually, when I was reviewing the card, I realized she's not actually on the card.
I don't think she's going to be fighting until May. Mercedes Money.
Formerly known as Sasha Banks. Which has some history with one of these two, no?
With Willow.
So with that being said, that's what I was thinking to set up that next storyline. We might see Willow beat Julia Hart here.
I think she's going to smoke her because then that opens up a brand new storyline with Mercedes Money and Willow Nightingale.
Yep.
Right?
And then we'll have the next transition.
Okay, now, since Julia Hart is the protege of the Women's AEW Championship, which is timeless Toni Storm. If you ever watch this is a riot. Every time she's on, she's in black and white. It's hilarious.
I've yet to see her fight. I'd love to see a match where they could split it up so you can see half of her in black and white, half of her in real color. I think that'd be hilarious.
She's like Roman Reigns. Maybe she only fights 3 times a year. Anyway, so she is taking on Thunder Rosa. Love Thunder Rosa.
Yeah, we saw her beat Tony's other protege.
Oh yeah,
Mariah May.
Yeah,
the other night. Yeah. So
smoked her,
and she got the better of her last week on Dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
Got the makeup smeared all over her face. That was hilarious.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, after the champagne in the face, too.
Yeah.
She was flying back with the champagne in the face. That must have been some heavy champagne.
I don't think Thunder Rosa has it this time, though. I think Toni Storm will keep the belt.
Well, I think if it was any other day of the week, timeless Toni Storm would lose. But because her protege is going to lose, and that would be Julia Hart, they're not going to have both of them lose championships on the same card. I just can't see that. So I'm going, unfortunately, with timeless Toni Storm.
But Thunder Rosa will be back, though. She'll be back.
Oh,
this will be the last we see of these two, I think.
I think that when they have All In August, we got to get that somehow.
Yeah, I'll make sure I book that Friday.
Sunday
off.
I think that's when she's going to take the championship from her. Because it's not that far away. August is like it's almost May already.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Well, a couple months of build up there.
Okay.
All right, the final few matches here.
Okay, now we go to the trios match. Again, no belt on the line. We got Adam Copeland, who you may know as Edge. We got Eddie Kingston, no relation to Kofi. And we got Mark Briscoe against.
Is it related to Jerry Briscoe?
You see, that pissed me off. Okay, because that's not his real name.
He took the Briscoe name?
He took the Briscoe name to get the Briscoe fame.
Yeah.
Okay? And I'm thinking, you prick. Like, seriously. Don't be doing stuff like that. Anyways, they are going up against the House of Black.
I think I picked House of Black in this one.
Yeah, I've got the House of Black too.
Because Edge is or Adam Copeland's feuding with one of the guys from the House of Black.
Yeah.
But I don't think they fight. He beats him that one. I think he'll beat him again in another match, in a singles match.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So House of Black will take this one.
Besides that, they are really pushing House of Black right now. Like, really pushing them hard. So I can't see them getting beat. Okay, so now we've got the AEW Continental Champion. So we got Okada against Pac, or otherwise known as Bastard Pac.
Formerly known as.
Oh, as Neville from the WWE.
Yeah. He looks even crazier now. His hair, the guy looks iconic.
And he got pretty thick, eh?
Yeah.
He got pretty pumped.
Wonder what the wellness policy's like in AEW.
It is probably as lax as it is in WWE. As we were talking about last night.
We saw these two fight in a trios match this past week. And I believe Okada beat him decisively. Okada just looks like a beast. I would not want to go against that guy.
Well, the thing with Okada is that he only became the Continental Champion 2 or 3 weeks ago after he was only after he had only started with them a week earlier.
Yeah.
He was being courted very heavily by WWE, but they were going to start him off in like NXT, and he said, "There's no way I'm starting down there." So that's why he's in AEW. He is going to have Pac for lunch.
I think so. Yeah.
Done. Okay, next.
So we got 2 more matches, I believe.
Yep. So next, we have the AEW International Championship, not to be confused with the Continental or the Intercontinental of the WWE. This is just a whole different whatever. Okay, so we've got Roderick Strong, and I think he's going to have interference with his 2 cohorts against Kyle the Whiner O'Reilly. Right, where I'm going to do everything all by myself. I'm going to do it on my own. You're going to get your ass handed to you.
I think so too. It's the one match I don't know too much about these two either of these two guys, but I agree with you with the interference, and I think Roderick Strong will win over Kyle O'Reilly.
Okay, and finally, the main event, AEW World Championship. Just before we get actually into that, how many World Championships are there actually?
There's only one world.
Yeah, but there's like 20 World Championships. Okay, so we got Samoa Joe. You know, I have had my eye on him for a long time. He was in TNA. He went up to WWE, and he wasn't handled very well at all in WWE. He goes to AEW. This guy's a beast. And he's taking on Swerve Strickland with his little pal. That's his only purpose, right? Someone should just throttle that guy.
I see him getting creamed this weekend by Samoa Joe. I get it.
Well, again, I'm going to have to disagree.
No, I'm not. No, okay. I'm talking about his little assistant guy.
Oh.
Yeah. I think he'll try to get into the interfere in the match.
No, I'm sorry. You've already made your pick. Okay, no. Go ahead.
I do think Swerve's gotten his butt kicked time and time again, week after week, he tries to come out to act tough, and Samoa Joe just flicks him off like a annoying mosquito.
Yeah.
But I think that Swerve, I think somehow is going to find a way to beat Samoa Joe.
Well, my thought process is this: if you saw, and I know that you did, the whole thing between Roman Reigns, The Rock, and Cody Rhodes, and as it was getting closer to the main match, Cody Rhodes was getting the crap kicked out of him every weekend before the match.
Yeah, Roman Rhodes.
And every time it was worse. And at the end, he comes out on top. And one of the problems that AEW has is that they got to work on their storylines, and sometimes it's just easier to steal them from WWE. I think that's what they're going to do. This guy's been getting the crap kicked out of him for weeks. I think Swerve Strickland's going to win that one, even though I would like to see Joe win.
Yeah. So there we have it. There's our AEW predictions. We'll follow it up on either Monday or Tuesday after the pay-per-view and see what happens.
Yeah, so we got the hockey, we got the basketball, we got AEW.
Yeah, it's a great time for sports right now.
Oh.
Playoffs are in full swing. Baseball is just getting started.
There's just not enough time in the day anymore.
I know.
Oh yeah, baseball too is going to be just. It's early, and it's going to start to go too.
Yeah, it slowly picks up over the season.
But it's a long season for baseball. Could you imagine?
I know, 150 some odd games.
162 games regular season, 30 games spring training, and then if you're in the playoffs, that's another 1,800 games.
Yeah, the league baseball season
crazy.
Goes all year. So NFL draft next week as well. We'll recap Dynasty.
Yep.
We'll check in with the playoffs. If you enjoyed this video, thanks so much for watching, guys. Smash that like button, hit subscribe. If you want to see the next video, make sure you turn notifications on. We should be coming at you sometime next week. And we'll see you there.
Thanks. See you later.